Okay, today is December 28th, 2025, and we're going to do a cold start and a walk around of the 1934 LaSalle Series 350 Sedan. This car is largely original aside from the fact that it was repainted this past year. The bumpers were replated in the 60s. Aside from that, though, the glass is original, the rest of the chrome is original, and the interior is all original. It was mechanically restored in the 60s, I think 1965, by the previous owner. I've refreshed some of the work. The exhaust manifold had a crack in it that had to be fixed. And currently I'm waiting to put the repaired mechanical pump back in, so it's on a temporary electric right now. We're going to relocate the electric to the undercarriage, so it's hidden. It's still good for backup and for starting purposes if it had a long slumber. The Oldsmobile Straight 8. Now this, I will state that first, just so from a historical context, people understand what's under the hood here. The Oldsmobile Straight 8 is what this engine is based off of, but this is the LaSalle 8. The Oldsmobile 8 was delivered to Cadillac in a raw block form with no machining done to it, and Cadillac did all of the boring and machining and increased the displacement of the engine, I think by an additional 5 or 10 cubic inches. On top of that, Cadillac made their own cylinder head, their own intake and exhaust manifolds, as they used this engine in 3 years of the LaSalle 34, 35, 36. By 1936, none of the parts were interchangeable with the Oldsmobile engine. But the LaSalle 8 engine puts out 95 horsepower in 1934. It has a compression ratio about a point higher than of the Oldsmobile engine of the era. The carburetor is a Stromberg EE23, which is a dual barrel downdraft carburetor. I was very fortunate recently to have tracked down enough parts to reassemble the automatic choke in this, which was probably missing from this car since the 1930s. When I got it, it was still being driven by a cable, and the fast idle cam didn't work, so you had to worry about a lot more when you started it. Now it's working pretty well. In very cold weather like today, it may over choke and it may have to tap the pedal for it to unload, but sometimes it works. If it's over 40 degrees out, it unloads perfectly. But we're going to start it now, and then I'll back it out of the garage and can walk around the car. So we'll see here that the upholstery is all original. The only thing that I've replaced is the piece of carpet at the bottoms of the front doors and the front carpet. The door carpets were destroyed, and the front carpet was missing when I got the car. So aside from that, the door panels and the headliner and the seats are all original. I bleed a bit stained from previous roof leakage on the roof, but anyways, we will go in here now. Here's your instrument cluster, one of my favorite pre-war clusters. The car has 99,662 miles on it. We're gonna turn the key on. You'll hear the electric pump, and we'll see if the carburetor unloads properly. Here goes nothing. I'm gonna have to tap the gas pedal. Okay. It's now unloading, so you can see this didn't want to open when it's very, very, very cold out. The piston does not seem to have enough energy to open it sometimes. This color is called Shirley Green. It is the original color of the car. The car was repainted twice before I decided to repaint it after an accident, and the paint that was on the outside of the car was close to this color, but a little bit bluer looking. This is the original color. Let's see here. Door panels. Seats are covered, but I just have cloths over them, but their upholstery is original and was completely covered by seat covers from when it was new. Has very good oil pressure, this engine. Very roadworthy. Doesn't go high speeds, but you can do 50, 55 comfortably in it. Obviously the styling was quite ahead of its time for 1934. This styling is Art Deco streamlined at its finest. The designer who designed this body style was called, his name was Jules Argamont, who worked for Harley Earl. This was based loosely off of race cars of the 1920s. The biplane bumpers, of course, are infamous. They're very fragile, they break easily, they're not very functional, they're very pretty. These two levers here are for the optional externally mounted trunk, which I do have in its original paint still. That trunk would then have luggage in it, and you would use that for, you know, because this trunk here is quite small. It has enough for an overnight bag, basically, but not full complement of luggage. Glass is all original. You can probably see here. Date code is on here. Here it is. LOF. Tail lights are the same for 34, 35, 36 Cadillac and LaSalle. They're glass, they're very hard to come by. I had one broken here due to the accident, and to track one down took some time and was not cheap. Dome light works. You can see the upholstery survived overall pretty well. Some damage to the bottom of the seat here from water intrusion, which was then being encapsulated by the previous seat covers that were on here. You can see here there is a rear lighter, rear passengers, which works, and the design is really quite pretty. This is a lap robe, which is an accessory of the era. It's wool and lined with a fur of some sort inside to keep the rear passengers warm. The other unique things about this vehicle is that the 34 LaSalle is the only LaSalle that has a Fleetwood body on it. And this was due to the idle hands of the Fleetwood body workers in 1933, and the fact that Fisher was unable to make these complex body curves in the Fisher body plant. So GM enlisted Fleetwood to build the body for the 34 LaSalle. Show the hood on the other side here. Here's the LaSalle 8. This is a 1-year only engine. So 34 inches, the only year engine has this steel water jacket cover across the engine. 35 has freeze plugs. Also 34, it's last year, for a chrome steering column that comes all the way down here to the steering box, and that cadmium device here is called the clem, which is your light switch. Your light controls are mounted in the column as well. There's the body plate. See, there's no mention of color on here, just the body number, body by Fleetwood. And the style 35159 signifies that this was produced in the 1935 model year. In those days, Fleetwood would reset annually, so the style would change in January to the new model, to the new year for Fleetwood bodied vehicles. Another unique thing about this vehicle is the one-piece windshield that is only on the 34 LaSalle. The 35 has a two-piece windshield with the all-new turret top, but there's a steel roof. This is still carrying the old cloth roof, which this is the original roof as well. It's a bit dried out, but it has been sealed and it is watertight. In the front of the car, you'll see the narrow grille that is synonymous with LaSalle's of the era, and you'll see these little catwalk chrome strips on either side of the grille. 34 Cadillac and LaSalle's both have 5 strips. 1935 has 4 strips, 1936 has 2 strips. We were driving this until the salt went on the roads recently. It drives very nicely, even in cold weather. Very roadworthy for a 30s vehicle with an automatic choke. But anyways, just going to give you a brief overview of this. Thanks for watching.